find all the information that you need. All right, back to the episode.
Yeah. What do you think that does for like a person's confidence or self-esteem? Because I'll say for me, I think one of the issues that I had in the U.S. was like I had this identity crisis because I had this. There was just this image that was portrayed of black men, mostly in media. So I was influenced a lot by music, a lot by like entertainment. But then moving abroad, I was able to find myself in a totally different environment. You know, it gave me a bit of freedom. And I think that could be true for other Black Americans as well. But I'm curious on your perspective of like why it's important for I want to say people in general, but also like Black Americans to experience living outside of America.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. Hard question.
That's so hard. That's so fucking hard.
Because I had this belief that it's like living abroad kind of fast tracks your self-discovery journey.
Absolutely. Because I think you realize the world is like so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
And not to like invalidate your personal experience, not like yours personally, but like, you know, there's just so many other things that happen outside of you. And I think, you know, I think we all kind of remember that when we first came to consciousness around like, maybe it was 4 years old or 5 years old, like we kind of realized like, oh, we're alive. And like, so are other people around us. And I think living abroad is like the exact same thing where you're like, oh, shoot, like it's not just me. There are other people and like I'm very much awake and I'm very much breathing and like literally so is everyone else here. Like, I think I honestly had that moment again last night where I was on the fucking late night bus home, and the late night bus in Paris, the fucking night bus, horrible, scary, negative 10 out of 10. Like, do not recommend. But last night, for some reason, it was different, and I was like, oh, like, everyone here is alive, like, with me. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, really tired. I want to go home. It's like 2 a.m, and this girl next to me is about to vomit, and I'm like, God forbid she vomits on my Uggs. Like, they've already seen everything. That's the last straw for me. And she's about to vomit, and then everybody on the bus is like corralling around her. They're cheering her on. They're holding her up. Someone's got a bag in front of her face. Her boyfriend's giving her kisses all over her face. Like the drunk guys in front of us are laughing. They're passing her drinks, like drink this, drink this. Like people are opening windows, and I was like, wow, like this is community. Like, I was like, this is France, and I was like, where would I see this in the U.S.? You know, and like, as a Black American, like I was like, oh, like everyone just cares, and there is no question of like ignoring someone or like it's not about the individual, it is about the community and the collective. And so that gave me a lot of confidence, like a surge, a reboost, to kind of like navigate life. I'm watching people on their first date on the bus like holding flowers, laughing at the girl who's about to throw up. Like I'm looking at a group of friends who are just like kind of battle rapping at the front of the bus in French. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm like, oh my God, like that's so beautiful. Some guy spilled his fucking Fanta on my Uggs, apologizing profusely. And I was like, wow, like, when would someone have given me the time of day to, like, apologize like that and to, like, see me and to recognize me? And so I think living abroad as a Black American, it becomes, that confidence comes from, like, being seen, and obviously not, like, in a passive sense. I mean, like, being seen and, like, acknowledged and, like, valued in the sense that, like, you're worthy of that apology and you're worthy that what I love about the French, and this is true of like the Black American South as well, is there's just an inclination to say good morning, like no matter what. It's bonjour forever, you know, bonsoir forever. And I'm like, wow, like that greeting goes such a long way. But like, you could walk into any store in the U.S. and they could just look at you and walk away, you know. And I'm like, even if you don't really with me like that, like you don't know me like that common courtesy to be seen in that way, to be acknowledged that you are worthy of that morning acknowledgement is so huge. And even just kind of, you know, seeing so many dark-skinned models on the subway, that was like culture shock for me. It was like, whoa. I was like, damn, like I was not expecting that, you know, especially because I was coming from LA at the time, where like biraciality was king. And being a size 0 was king. And I was like, wow, like this is such a different environment and such a different way to kind of embrace everyone's beauty and embrace everyone's uniqueness. And the amount of times that like someone who I would have never approached has come to me like, you are so beautiful, like I just have to talk to you, like what's your name, what's your story, where are you from? And I'm like, oh,
Me?
Me? Which is so sweet. And that's also like, you know, trauma coming from like a predominantly white institution when I grew up in like a white high school. So like obviously the guys that I liked at the time weren't looking at me. You know, I was like, damn, I guess I'm just not that fine. And obviously like things changed when I got to college and